Okay, the first thing is a small dashboard. We use this in the hub, kind of our meeting with all of our staff. This right here is a list that started out with like 35 things. We just slowly move it down. We kind of celebrate every time we get one thing done. Then right here are next camps. So all the details of how many people are coming, who the camp coordinator is, that sort of thing. The next 5 camps are listed there. Then the different funds that we're saving for, kind of where they're at, what percentage they are, recruiting goals that we would have that are all listed and kind of where we're at here. And then 2 things that we kind of pay attention to, 2 metrics. One is the ministry improvement margin, the other is camper days. And we show where we're at now, and then we'll also show where we're at last year. This is the small one, just a short one. We probably go over it maybe every 2 or 3 weeks. And then there's another one in the conference room we go over every day. Okay, this is the conference room dashboard that we go over each week, and right over here is all of the person, project, deadline, kind of the big stuff that we're working on. Top of the list there is the most important, then it slowly makes its way up. This is like vehicle and equipment report, so they're showing what vehicles are down, the deadlines for when they're supposed to get fixed, and then what vehicles are available to fill in the different spots. This is kind of the important part of this dashboard. Again, the ministry improvement margin and camper days, same way as in the small dashboard. Then a little bit more on the funds. A marker right here that tells you, just a button with a magnet on the back that tells you whether or not, okay, we're in good shape. Yellow means we're not in such great shape. Red means we need to pay attention to it. Then these are the plus and minus funds. Nobody wants their budget on this minus fund, but it is where we kind of say, okay, these are the ones that are hurting the budget the hardest. These are the ones that are helping the budget the most. We update that on a monthly basis. And then this is kind of our quick look out. So we would go out to 12 weeks out. And so at 12 weeks out, a new tile would go on the board. So this is camps and events. So this represents different teams. Like this is the Rivertown team. This is a event that would affect all of the staff. This would be the Broken Eye Ranch team. So you'll notice on these are just ceramic tiles, a 3x6 tile with magnets that are glued onto the back so that this can move as its date moves along, so does it, and it moves all the way down to the done section right there. So it gives you lots of ability to change things around. Of course, you can wipe these off and change them just like a whiteboard would be. And then this right here, this is just wood with magnets on the back, which give you the ability to kind of give your borders, change it up any way you want. Just a dashboard to let you know how the operation is working, not necessarily whether you met your goal, but kind of is the gauge empty or full. We're trying to pay attention to that. Okay, this is the planning room. This is where we'll plan months out, maybe even years out. Let me show you several of the things in the planning room. First of all is the stop sign. That's your stop to listen sign. It's one of the things you have to just keep on listening to all the people who are doing the work to get the input to help you know where we're headed to the future. This would be the master plan, where we look at what our people development is, what our process development is, then property and planning along the way. Honestly, the property development always comes after the people and process development. If you don't have enough money for the property, then you probably just need to work on growing your people or making your processes better. So in a master plan, this is just going through all the different things that we do to improve people, process, and property, and then we would plan in this room. This is what we call the BHAGs, Big Hairy Audacious Goals. So there's several things on that list. I have no idea if they'll ever happen. It's just kind of out there like, maybe. That would be a huge goal that we would have. And then over here on the top of the wall, right here, we begin a process that'll go all the way around. We'll show you in a moment. But it starts off with this year, 2014. Here are the big capital improvement projects that we have. Next to each one of those would be the guy who's responsible for that for that project. And there's usually somewhere between 8 or 10 projects up on the board that we're trying to get 80 to 90% of them finished up. Then this right here are all the camps of tweakage. We work with a bunch of different camps, so it just kind of identifies all the various camps that we work with right there. Okay, the most important phrase, the most important words here in the planning room is this little phrase right here from James chapter 4, if the Lord wills. Obviously we can put anything we want up on the wall, but if the Lord doesn't want it to happen, it's not going to happen. So this is our plan. God may change it, and that's why we say if the Lord wills. Coming up along the way, so you saw 2014, 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, wraps all the way around the room, wraps out for about 10 years there. I tell people that this little border right here is really the way that I say no. So when somebody comes up with a good idea, we write it down and we try to figure out what year it can fit in. And many times you'll be 7 or 8 years out and you'll be like, okay, we can do that in 2019. And you're like, oh man. But to do it anytime sooner would be to say no to all these other things up on the wall. So this is just kind of, in my mind, the idea of where we're headed next, what we'll be doing next project-wise up on the top. Then this side right here has several things that are really important for planning. One of them is the next 100 days, and that's for my office, just to kind of say, okay, these are the next things that we're working on, the next most important things that we're trying to get accomplished. And then there's a buy list, and it's prioritized with the little pieces here that tell you, okay, this is the next thing that we're hoping to buy. Here's the buy and build. So this one needs both money and labor, and once again, it's prioritized. And then as we work with our family of camps, Camp Grace, Wolf Mountain, Nehemiah Corps, kind of their big things that are right in front of them. I can't remember all of those things. Like if somebody gave me some money and said, go spend it, I want to come back to the buy list or the buy and build list to figure out what the next most important thing is. This is our spoke ministry, a whole different set of ministries that we have, and kind of their high priorities right there. So. On this wall we have our whiteboard, which will do all of our brainstorming, planning, that sort of thing. Then we have a number of the drawings that we're working from right now. Up above me here we have the equipment list, the overall list for the next 20 years, and then the next 10 or 12 projects that we're hoping to purchase next right there. Then as we come along, this is a saturation report and a map here that shows all of the various churches that attend. Some of the churches that do send kids, some of the churches that could send kids but don't. Also some of the green ones are the schools that use the camp. Again, right here, these are just magnets that are glued on to just beads right there. And then this is a metal board that's just glued on to the wall. Cost about 46 bucks for the metal board, a few pennies for each bead. About 15 cents for the small magnets, 20 cents for the big ones in order to put all of that together. And now for the secret planning weapon. We don't show this to very many people, but really this is how real planning gets done. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Legos.